Eagles fly high, reppin' the gang green. Podcast popping off every week, a new scene. All over the place, breaking down the scheme. From touchdowns to trash talk, living the dream.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, I'm ready, prepared every single week, kind of like I was going to start. I try to make sure I'm always on top of on top of what I need to do as far as mentally, and I just have full faith in God, that He'll be with me and just guide me out there on the field.
You have been some of the guys you kind of leaned on this year. Your dad was playing playoff games at the Link. But what does it mean to you? What's it like playing a playoff game at the Link, wearing that jersey, and playing for the Eagles?
No, it definitely means a lot. I've been watching the Eagles ever since I was a kid. I was around the facility, around the people here that are still here now. And being able to, put on the jersey is definitely a great feeling. It's going to be a different point of view. I guess I've already experienced it by now, but it's definitely something that's surreal. Playing for your hometown team and just already being a fan of the team. So I want to win just as much as the fans want us to win. So I just try to make sure I do everything I can to make sure I do my part.
Yeah, Try is definitely ready.
How do you know that?
Because I'm practicing with him. I'm playing with him. Yeah, he's been ready for a long time now. He's really excited, and I'm excited for him and Orrin.
That was Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who's most likely getting his start this week against the Rams with Nakobe Dean's injury and him being out. Zach Bond co-signed it as well with the work that they're putting in. Before we get to the Rams game, let's do a quick recap of the Green Bay game. Let's get it. Okay, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. But the Eagles advanced to the next round. It wasn't pretty. We know that, but it doesn't matter. A win is a win. And as Eagles fans, we have to keep it real and say we're glad that the ones got a chance to rest that last game. Because, man, if they weren't rested, could you imagine what that looked like? So Jalen, he returned after his concussion. Some people saying he's still concussed. I don't know. We do know that wasn't his best performance. Credit to Green Bay defense, though. They had the guys covered. But, again, Hurts had, an average of like 5 seconds, give or take, in the pocket, which is twice as long as you need to get rid of the ball. Hurts started strong, but he struggled after an early lead. This is his first game back since December 22nd when he played against the Commanders. It was a fast start, thanks with the help of special teams. My gosh, that hit was great. Caused a fumble. Technically, Green Bay got back on the ball, but we came out of the pile with it, so I'm not complaining. We recovered that kickoff at the 28-yard line. During that series, Hurts threw an 11-yard TD pass to Jahan Dotson. Great job, great catch. He scrambled, got him, boom, 7-0 lead. Defense basically led us to that 22-10 victory. Shout out to the defense. They kept us in it. All those turnovers, come on. We really should have got more points. I think that's the biggest disappointment as an Eagles fan. When you have that many turnovers in a game and you don't capitalize, kind of disheartening. It's like, oh, okay. It's all good. Defense kept us in it. We intercepted Jordan Love 3 times. Hurts threw for 131. Saquon rushed for 119. He got over 100, which was good. The last run he had, again, showed some humility, and he was smart. I mean, whoever bet... I'm sure they weren't too happy that he didn't score that touchdown. In an interview after the game, you can hear his rationale in regards to, hey, I could have pulled a hammy. Someone else could have got hurt, pulled something, tripped. You can understand that. So him saying first down wins the game, he kept focused on the bigger picture, which was the first down. But Jalen was struggling through that game. He was struggling passing the ball. He began strong, though. He began 6 for 6. Then he missed 7 consecutive passes. He broke the drought with a 28-yard completion to Devontae Smith. That was good. That was a good look. Devontae, man, that dude, he's fast. The key scoring drive in the third quarter, Hurts connected with Smith and Goddard for a touchdown to take the lead to 16-3. Shout out to Goddard. That stiff arm going into the end zone was crazy. Jake Elliott missed the extra point. He made the field goals, but come on, man, you can't be missing the extra point, because later on, that may be the difference between a win or a loss. Jake Elliott really got to get his head in the game. Speaking of, a lot of people had a lot to say with A.J. Brown and him reading a book on the sideline. Now, again, as a matter of fact, let's hear what he had to say about it.
Y'all just caught me at that time. I'm doing that every drive, regardless of, like I said, if I score a touchdown or drop a pass, it's something how I refocus.
Is there a certain passage that you read from?
Yes, I always revert back to like the beginning of the book. It states if you can just have a clear mind, and let me see, what did it say? If you have a clear mind and remember that nothing else matters. Clear mind and clear consciousness. Nothing matters, negative or positive. you're willing to take risks, you know. And I go back to it, and it also says if you're humble, you can't be embarrassed. So no matter what happens, like in the game or whatever happens, you know, I'm just gonna stay free, you know, play free, you know, keep going, take risks, you know. So.
How do you think
were you frustrated when you were reading the book?
No, I was not frustrated at all. I figured that's what y'all probably thought. I wasn't frustrated. Why y'all always think I'd be frustrated? Like, hey, yeah, I read the book. Yeah, I like to read. So.
Told everybody to calm down. Okay, the Eagles' offensive woes and fan frustration was evident in this game. It was evident throughout. I mean, we punted after a failed drive in the third quarter. Fans started booing. I remember that part of the game. Then the Packers cut the lead 10-3 after a field goal, and that just made us uncomfortable, especially with turnovers. Why is it a one-score game? Why is it a one-score game? I'm sitting here, and during the game, I was mad at Hurts. I ain't gonna front. During the game, I was vexed. I'm looking at Hurts like, what's the problem? What's the problem? But looking at the replay, the 360 replay, you do see that Green Bay, a lot of guys were covered. Our guys were covered. However, I would rebut that guys were open. There were windows at certain times for guys to be open. Even AJ was 1-on-1. There were windows when guys were open that Hurts could have got that ball in there. There were some 1-on-1 matchups with AJ I think we could have taken advantage of. But again, Hurts took care of the ball. He didn't turn it over, and that's the most important thing. Injuries. Now, let me tell you something about injuries. One thing you can say about the Eagles, we hurt them. We hurt them guys, man. I mean, injuries for Green Bay was piling up. Guys were coming out the game, we out-physicaled them in this game. That's great news. That's good news as an Eagles fan. We let them know from the gate, yeah, it's going to be a physical team with that. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a physical game with that first hit. It's a shame Nakobe Dean, man, he had a good game too. He had a good game. He was playing good, but yeah, injury. Watch him go off in that cart was painful, man. But the last play he did was money, meaning, man, he was out there working. His game was definitely ascending. But, you know, it's next man up mentality. And that's what it's about. That's what other guys prepare for. That's what they get ready for during the course of the week. And it's the next guy up. And Darius Slay one time left the game with the elbow, but he did return. Nakobe Dean with that knee injury, watching him go off in that cart was painful, man. But he's ruled out. Nolan Smith's strong defensive play. Man, I tell you, recorded a 14-yard sack on Jordan Love in the first quarter. I think he ended with 2 sacks for the game, but Nolan Smith, if he plays like that in every game, we good. We need that from him. We need that from him because it makes a difference. Have mercy. 2 sacks? Whew, that was good. He did a good job with that. First half, we led 10-0 at halftime, despite Hurts' struggles. So we can't be that mad. It's just a disappointing thing. That's what it is as an Eagles fan. Again, it's just a disappointing performance. But we have to remember, it doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to look pretty. Style points don't matter in the playoffs. Style points don't matter. It's either a win or a loss. I think going into the next game, the offense is going to be humming, especially after games when AJ's kind of quiet. You get a little criticism. They question the passing game. And again, if needed, don't get me wrong, if Barkley could run on the defense, oh my gosh, he's going to run all over them. LA just beat the Vikings, so we're going to be playing LA Chargers. They're coming to Philly. Come on, we ready for them. We ready for them. So again, if LA allows us to run, we're going to run the ball. That's not a problem. If we can run all over them, we're going to run the ball. However, I see Hurts passing game step up. I see him throwing for over 200 yards. Let me say it. I see him throwing for over 200 yards because again, I say in every video, the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. They're not just going to the Super Bowl, they're going to win the Super Bowl. I say it in every video. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Foul points don't matter. We're going to get the W. We didn't come this far for nothing. The 2 interceptions we had before halftime, it was just disappointing that we didn't capitalize and score touchdowns. Let me be specific. We really should have scored touchdowns. That's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see touchdowns being scored off the 2 interceptions before halftime. I mean, and again, the turnover after halftime too, no matter when it is, we just want to see points off turnovers, man. Because Jordan Love, he was struggling. We picked him off 3 times. We even ended the game with that beautiful pick. So overall, the Eagles are sitting good. We're where we want to be. We won the game. It wasn't pretty, but again, it's not about style points. It's not about style points here in the playoffs. It's about a win. We got the win, and after this game is on to the next. They took care of business. Shout out to them. They put the Vikings where the Vikings belong, but it's time for us to put them where they belong and move on to the NFC Championship because we have a date. We have a date in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. We have a date in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. History is going to be made. At the Gangrene Podcast, we talk the good, bad, ugly. Everything Philadelphia Eagles, that's what we talk about. And the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. They're not just going, they're winning it. I'm saying it and I'm saying it loud. I'm saying it loud and I'm saying it louder. Hope everybody have a gangrene day. Hope everybody have a Philly gangrene day. Hope you have a Philly gangrene day. Remember to like and subscribe.
Eagles fly high, reppin' the gang green. Podcast popping off every week, a new scene. All over the place, breaking down the scheme. From touchdowns to trash talk, living the dream. Mike's hot,